Hi, everyone. This is Catherine Adams.
And Elizabeth Wallace. And you're listening to Binary System Podcast number 210. And what are we celebrating tonight, Catherine?
We are celebrating the fact that we actually managed to watch the entire Oscars tonight. Woo!
Damn straight.
And in honor of that...
Nice. I didn't watch the Oscars, to be honest. I was actually just refreshing Twitter every 2 or 3 minutes and just getting the updates there. I didn't really want to watch the Oscars, though I hear some of the musical performances were pretty amazing.
The performance of the music from Frozen was, okay, I can never get her name right, Idina Menzel, I think?
I think so.
It was her, but the person who introduced it was the voice of Olaf in that. And he explained that they have to dub the music and the voices in every country that this is shown in. So it was her performing a song from Frozen 2 with so many of the other women who did voices in the other countries. And that was really spectacular.
Oh, that's amazing. That's what I'm going to be sort of browsing around the internet tomorrow for all the bits that I missed. I'm pretty happy with, quote unquote, watching it on Twitter. I mean, especially when the Best Picture was announced, I was sitting here like, refresh. I was surprised at how hyped up I was just from looking at text on a screen, but kind of an upset tonight, wasn't it?
It really, really, really was. Yeah, it was Parasite all the way. I did not realize that they were going to be the one to beat.
Yeah, they swept by, I think, in the end, 4 Academy Awards. The only people who got close was 1917, and they got 3, and that was pretty surprising, too. And
Which I was really glad about that, because I haven't seen all... let me try that again. I haven't actually seen most of the nominees, but we saw 1917 just a couple of days ago, and that was stunning. I mean, and I love the fact that they got it for... Yeah, I mean, I would have liked for them to get it for other things, but just visually, that movie was so spectacular. There is a scene where someone is running through the ruins of a bombed-out city, and it's only lit by flares, and it's just jaw-droppingly gorgeous. And then a little while later, someone is fleeing from German soldiers that are shooting at him, and the music that is playing as he's running is just, it's gorgeous, the whole movie. And it's an endurance race, too, because the story itself, I mean, the main characters find out they have until sunrise to stop an attack because 2 whole battalions will be slaughtered in a trap if they don't.
Oh, wow.
And it feels like the whole 9 hours you're feeling with your heart in your throat most of that. And I would have liked for them to win more, but I'm glad they got what they did.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, Joker was certainly controversial in a lot of the things that it did. And then Joaquin Phoenix got it for the Joker, which I've heard from other people, both people who liked the Joker and who didn't like the Joker, but they all say that his performance was pretty amazing. However, watching the reactions from people on Twitter, his speech seemed to go kind of off the rails.
It did, and then Renee Zellweger won for Judy, which I honestly really do need to see that. But then she went on for a long time, and I think she kept more on topic, I suppose, with thanking the entire creation, giving thanks to everybody, which I would want to do that too. But it was a lot. And I know that they want to get everything in and to be able to say something while they have the microphone at them at this biggest award ceremony you can imagine. Guys, you have to narrow it down a little bit better.
Just a bit. I mean, it went well over 3 hours. I mean, they always talk about how they're not going to have hosts anymore because they can keep it under 3 hours that way. No, they didn't even come close. I mean, it was at least 3.5 hours, maybe closer to 3:45. But then also Ford v. Ferrari, that got a few awards too, and I've been hearing some good stuff about that one. We had one of our Instagram reviewers who we posted to the site. They said it's the literal definition of a crowd pleaser, that it's just a fun movie, and I think it got it for a lot of the sound work, which sounds like that's one I need to catch too.
Okay, now, of course, I never know actors and actresses' names because I don't pay attention enough, but it was Chris Rock who was doing some of the opening monologue, I think, of the jokes.
I think so, yeah, that from what Twitter said, yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about Ford versus Ferrari, and he said, guys, I've got a Ferrari. It's no contest. That's like saying it's a choice between Selma Hayek and gum disease.
Nice. Yeah, I noticed they had, they don't have hosts, but they still have presenters. And then apparently from what Twitter was saying, at one point there was a presenter that presented another presenter.
I caught that too. Now, I watched this with Mom and Dad and Hannah. So we all had a lot of fun. Mom likes this better than having hosts.
Okay.
And Hannah remembers back to other hosts in the past that have been really, really good, and you can't discount them just because it feels more convenient to do it without hosts.
Sure.
My thinking is that, yeah, it's great when you have a good host. If you don't have a good host, that's your entire award ceremony that feels awkward, as opposed to these one at a time folks that all have, I'm sure they all have their own writers, but as Hannah pointed out, they probably had the same director putting together this entire thing. So it feels coherent even though it's all these different people. I don't know. I thought it worked, but I didn't watch it last year because I was still having shell shock from the big screw up with La La Land. So yeah.
No, I couldn't do it. In fact, that year I think was the last year. No, I watched it the next year just to see them redeem it. But then the year later, I was like, I'm just going to do the Twitter thing. And I'm pretty happy with my decision, but I hear James Corden got up in a cat suit.
Yes, James Corden, and I cannot think of his female host, and they both got, I think they're both people from Cats.
I think so.
And they talked about that, we know the importance of visual design. But they did all the clips of the movies that were being nominated, and it goes back to them, and Jerry Corman starts saying something, and his female co-host knocks the microphone, and he slaps at the edge of the microphone like a cat batting at it, and they both went at it for a few times, and it was really funny.
Okay, good. I couldn't tell. Twitter, Twitter loves to hate on things. A lot of people were like, what's happening? This is stupid. But I'm like, no, I bet it's pretty funny.
It was. I thought it worked very well, and they were definitely, poking fun at Cats by doing that. But Steve Martin was with Chris Rock in the very beginning, and he actually made a mention of the La La Land disaster. And he said that, we know that there was a big mistake a couple of years ago, but not to worry because the producers of the Oscars have said that they're going to be going with the Iowa Caucus app to run things this time. Like, timely.
Go for it. Yep. So Ripley and Captain America and Wonder Woman were all on stage at the same time?
It was brilliant. I loved that. And I loved... Brie Larson. Brie Larson talked about the fact that the three of them had decided they were going to do a fight club, and I can't remember what they said the winner was going to get. Okay, the only rules about their fight club was that the guys were not allowed to wear shirts. And sorry guys, it's Hollywood. Yeah. I can't remember what they said the winner would get, but they said the loser gets to answer questions about what is it like to be a woman in Hollywood, and they all smiled. It's like, you don't want to lose.
No, I imagine not. This is the picture I saw of them, and so many of the, I don't want to go all over about the dresses and everything because I think that's irritating, but boy, some of the dresses are pretty amazing.
Did you see that tidbit about Natalie Portman's dress?
Oh, yeah, she's got embroidered onto it was all the names of the women directors who got snubbed in the nominations.
Yes, that's very good. That's amazing. Using your platform for good right there.
I like that, yeah.
I was a little disappointed, and it's just for personal preference. Toy Story 4 got the feature-length animated movie win.
Yeah.
That's cool. I haven't seen it yet. I have seen How to Train Your Dragon 3, and I really wanted that one to win.
I did too. I think it was fine that Toy Story 4, there are a bunch of people who said, the only thing I heard about Toy Story 4, we've said it before, is a lot of people said they didn't really need it, but an equal number of people said they were very afraid that they were going to ruin the series by having a bad sequel at the end, and they said, we don't have to worry about that. So now I need to see that.
Yeah, and I think the worst that I've ever heard anyone say about Toy Story 4 was that they were playing it safe. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you play it safe? There's a lot riding on it.
Yeah, Disney did not end up, in the visual effects, they had Endgame and Star Wars and The Lion King, and they lost it to 1917.
It was like, wow. And I think that was because of the seamless cut thing that they did in 1917. The entire movie was really gorgeous, but they also had that thing where they made it look like it was one unbroken take for the entire movie. Right. And I could never see the seam between, because obviously they had to have broken it up into different pieces.
Sure.
But I could point out sections where I thought, okay, that may be where they spliced together a couple of scenes. But other than that, yeah, it really did feel like it was one camera just circling around and focusing in on the action the entire time without a break.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Somebody on Twitter, I'll have to find the tweet and see if I can retweet it, but somebody said that all these other movies getting nominated, like Endgame and Skywalker and everything, for creating this whole world with their visual effects, and The Irishman got nominated because they made Robert De Niro look younger. It's true.
Yeah,
Boy, Irishman didn't get anything. That was kind of amazing.
That was really kind of amazing. I told Mom and Dad about your comment about you've seen this movie before. So
you've seen it a couple times. You really have. Yeah, and then Marriage Story, which was getting a lot of buzz, that only got one, but it was for Laura Dern's performance. And I think that, I would have been perfectly fine if Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver had gotten the Best Actor and Actress for that performance. I saw that movie night before last, and I really disliked it because it is like that whole conflict and a marriage ending and people yelling at each other and courtroom scenes and everything. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. But God, their performances were amazing. And Laura Dern has this whole speech as the lawyer. She's sort of coaching Scarlett Johansson's character on how to be a good female witness in a divorce proceeding. And she's like, it's not fair. You do have to be perfect. The guys can be flawed, but you have to be perfect because we're being held up to Mary, the mother of Jesus, because she is the perfect woman. She is a virgin who has given birth. And it's not fair. It's fucked up, but that's what it is. Her delivery is really, really good. So I was happy to see her get that one.
Yeah, they showed a couple of clips from Marriage Story every once in a while during the ceremony, and wow. They had that one scene where the husband is just going up to the wife and screaming, every day I wish you would just die. I thought, damn, okay. They put their heart into that one.
Yeah, and that was, there was a lot of lead up to that scene, so it felt even more because it had sort of been building to that moment the whole time. But he also sings at one point. He's singing a Soundham song. It's really good. You're just watching and going, this is a difficult song to sing. And apparently it was done in one take, if you believe IMDb. I don't know. But yeah, it's still not a movie I want to watch again, but really good. So yeah.
Now, did you watch all of the documentary shorts this year?
No, I only saw 3, and one of them that I didn't see was the How to Skateboard in a War Zone, and I'm so irritated because that was available on Hulu, and I thought about getting, just getting a trial membership and watching it and whatever, but you had to get not just the free $5 trial membership, you had to get like the trial membership for the $60 a month membership with live TV in order to watch that, and I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like it. And of course that was the one that won, but
well, I also wanted Knives Out to win the best screenwriting, but it was the only one that they actually got nominated for, and I think that one got won by Parasite, so I don't think there's any shame in losing to Parasite since it won so much. But
no,
the animated shorts, Hair Love got it, and I've been saying since I saw that it was nominated, I'm like, that's going to be the winner, I think, because it was just beautiful animation and a very heartwarming story. I loved the expressions of everybody throughout that. Even in the beginning with the cat that meows, and he kind of meows sideways and looks kind of irritated. Just that was very pretty. I really wanted Kitbull to win, just because of the way the little black cat goes spastic, either when he gets scared or when it's trying to play with the soda bottle top. All of that was just brilliant. But yeah, Hair Love, I think that was well deserved.
Yeah, we were just talking about that today because I've only seen Hair Love and Kitbull because the other 3 I tried. I couldn't see them unless I went to the theater, which I didn't get around to it. My fault. But yeah, Kitbull, there's a bit where the kitten is snuggling up to the pit bull after the fight, and I am sitting in a tire repair shop waiting for my tires to be put on, watching this thing on my laptop, and I'm starting to get teary in the middle of the tire shop. I'm like, holy crap.
3 times I have watched that short. 3 friggin' times, and I get choked up just thinking about that. So very, very nice story, but that gets you right in the heart.
So yeah, I guess I'm going to have to see Little Women at some point. I know it got costume design, I guess, but boy, the Twitterverse was really angry that it didn't win more. A lot of people are saying it's good. I think the worst thing I've heard about it is they do a thing with the timeline where they flip back and forth between like a past storyline and a future storyline, and it was confusing to some people, and I can think of worse things to have to figure out in a movie, so I'm going to need to see that one.
Yeah, I think that was one thing that made people very angry about the lack of women directors getting nominations, because it was up for Best Picture. And I think it was up for Best Actress and maybe Best Supporting Actress and Best Adapted Screenplay and all this stuff, but not directing. And that really felt like a snub, a deliberate snub. And I feel like this award ceremony was kind of a way of them trying to make up for some of that, because there was a lot of diversity on display and a lot of female presenters and a lot of female talent. And I think that's great that they're trying. I just don't understand how they could go all the way through the voting process and only manage to nominate like one African American, I think, for anything, and no female directors.
And I don't know how the voting process works. I mean, I don't want them to do a kind of affirmative action thing where they say we have to have a certain percentage of women. I mean, I think in some ways that'd be helpful, but long term, I don't know if that would help. I want to look at how do things get nominated? Who are the people who are doing the voting? I'm sure we've got some friends in the Hollywoodverse around here who can give us some more information about that. Because I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I don't want people to feel like they're required to nominate things, but I feel like the people who should be nominated are not getting in front of the people who are doing the nominating. Does that make any sense at all? I don't know. It sounds kind of wishy-washy when I say it like that, but I'm like, I think if you could see some of these performances and directions by female and African-American and other nationalities, if you saw them, you would want to nominate them, but I think they're just not being shown. Does that make sense?
I think it's getting better now, because before there was this idea that, we need to have more, non-white people getting nominations. I'm like, well, you're having situations like Johnny Depp is getting hired on as Tonto in The Lone Ranger. I mean, you have these parts that could get, there are like some super talented people out there that are not getting the roles because you've got casting directors who are playing it safe. And I think we're getting better now. We're now actually seeing a lot more representation. Is probably not enough, but we are seeing more of it. And now we just need the people who are doing the nominating for these awards to notice that, because I think they somehow forgot that there was any female directors out there that were qualified for a nomination this time.
But certainly, I mean, obviously things are getting better if you've got a Korean production like Parasite that wins all the things and subtitles too, It's amazing.
I swear to God, if I hear a trend starting tomorrow about people complaining about darn foreigners coming in and taking our jobs and stealing our awards, I'm going to throw something out a window.
Oh my God. Yeah, seriously. I mean, but those people always exist. You can't. I mean, I was on Twitter today, every time somebody got up and said something ugly, just because I'm going through just the main feed, and so I'm seeing not just people that I'm following, but I'm seeing everything, and there would be some ugly comment, I'm blocking you, and I'm blocking you, and I'm just blocking all the things. There's a lot of ugly people out there, but I think they're overrepresented on the internet. I would hope that the average person is not nearly that gross.
Well, that's something that I've thought about with Twitter before. Twitter is very egalitarian, and sometimes that is good because it means everybody's got a voice. But the problem is a person who is like announcing the results of some huge scientific advance that's going to make a huge difference in people's lives has the same amount of coverage as the person that goes lol triggered much in response to every comment. I mean, everybody's the same, and we're all just kind of screaming into the void at once. I don't know if that's something that can be fixed or needs to be fixed, but it is what it is.
Well, I would say don't engage with the crazies. That's my thing. I mean, every time we've got somebody with 47 followers who gets up and says some ugly comment, and Twitter, of course, wants to punish them, but you're giving them a voice, You're drawing all this attention to them. Just ignore them. They will literally go away if no one pays attention to them. But
I always love that picture. No, I can't go to bed. Somebody is being wrong on the internet.
So true. But yeah, I can't really think of anything to add, mostly because I just saw such a distressingly small proportion of the movies this year, which is my own fault. I always say I'm going to be better, but I never do.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Best Pick podcast this week, because they always watch the Oscars live, and then they talk about it right afterwards. So I want to get their feelings on that, because I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised that a movie like Parasite really swept it this year, and now I have to go out and see that.
Yeah, and does Pop Culture Happy Hour, have they covered Parasite at all?
I don't think I've actually listened to any episodes of that yet. And I need to, because they talked about cats, and that sounds like that would be a lot of fun to listen to.
Oh, that episode's that's very fun. All right, we'll have to check about that. But yeah, we will get caught up on some of the movies. I still don't really necessarily have any desire to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, even though it did win some stuff, but whatever. But Parasite I will absolutely be seeing. But I guess that's going to wrap us up for the week. So make sure to check out PixelatedGeek.com for all the book reviews, the movie reviews, the comic book reviews, the photo galleries. Speaking of the movie reviews, we'll have a link on our social media, but we've got the Oscars tag on our page, has links to all the movies that have been nominated for Oscars. And then we have a roundup post that lists every single one of the Oscar nominations with links to all the reviews that we've done, and we'll highlight all the winners in there. So all of that and more, PixelatedGeek.com. I guess next week we're probably going to have a Night Vale episode?
Very likely, yeah. It's too late in the night to do math, so we'll have to figure that out later, I'm sure.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm impressed that not only were we able to watch all the Oscars, but we even did the recording right after the Oscars.
Exactly.
So this is past your bedtime.
Well, I'm glad I have my ginger ale here, because it's thirsty work watching the Oscars, 3.5 hours of it.
Oh my God. One of these years they're going to figure their crap out. I don't know. Then they did like a recap rap halfway through, I guess. Was that painful to watch?
I was probably helping to clean up the kitchen at that point, and I did not see that. And I think I'm probably glad about that.
Did you see Eminem's performance?
I didn't. Hannah said it was really good. She said there were people singing along in the audience, and Hannah's a big Eminem fan anyway. So yeah, I might have to pull that one up on YouTube.
Yep. So I'm sure we will find something in the nerd world to talk about. One way or the other, we will talk to everybody in 1 week.
Talk to y'all later.
And I've heard that from other people who say that the movie... Oh my God, there's a dog barking. Hang on 1 second.
Of course there's a dog barking.
Fucking dog. Give it a second. I'm hoping that it's somebody who's actually walking their dog and it's barking. But then you've also got... How did I start that?
You thought it was pretty amazing, Joaquin Phoenix winning it.
Yeah. And there's a motorcycle going by. Yep. 1 second. God. Sunday night around here. Jeez, I'm crow.